In order for you to receive the best possible outcome, I invite you to rest your eyes closed and to breathe into your heart space and to imagine your heart space like a big, beautiful glitter ball of light. So it just simply looks like this. Enjoy.
Hi there. Welcome to another Sound Healing Conference presentation. We now have Suzy Wu. Hi, Suzy.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Welcome, welcome. Reverend Suzy is an international touring metaphysician and consciousness medicine expert. She integrates spiritual healing, sound, sacred geometry, mediumship, astrology, intentions to heal people's psychological, emotional, and physical ailments, healing one's damaged self perception, bringing forth each client's pure identity before the programming, conditioning, and indoctrination of this lifetime, and personal power. She communicates with an individual's spirit guides and sees the soul blueprint, helping each person to realize and step into who they truly are at a soul level. Cool. This is going to be fun. What have you been up to lately?
A lot of healing work. So this is my full-time bit. It's what I do.
Mhm. Cool. Cool. Okay, here's the big question. If you had all the money in the world, what would you do to help people on the planet?
Grata Sonora gongs. So a whole maybe in a crater and just have weekly probably meetings and just to help people to heal and remember who they are and bring that strength forward. I think is my mission. So money would just help to support the bigger gongs.
Cool. Cool. Excellent. Okay, so what's your presentation about today?
So, my presentation is entitled Unlock and Activate Your Multidimensional DNA with Sound and Sacred Geometry. Everything that I love and everything that I live every day. So, I'm here to help share this information with everybody who wants to hear it.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait. Let's begin.
Alrighty. So, I do energy healing, much beyond Reiki, and I own a crystal shop called Good for the Spirit. So I work with crystals, I work with light therapy. I'm very sensitive to people's energy and sound frequency. So I'm super, 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 super sensitive. And it's developed over the past, probably, well, definitely since 2012. And so what I do today is I realize that I'm actually stepping into somebody's almost like if they were in a suit of armor. I'm stepping into that suit of armor and I'm looking through their eyes, but not as them. And it's a really cool thing that has just developed. Now, you as an individual, you have crystals in your pineal gland, in your bone marrow, and as such, they vibrate. Everything vibrates. That's what frequency is. Now, the earth also has what is called a crystalline grid, which is not a physical grid. Now, quartz has memory, and that's why they use it in electronics and watches and clocks and all that other stuff, because what you put into quartz repeats. So it's very reliable. So you can program something into a quartz and it doesn't need to be this size. It can be a little one like this, but quartz is one of the most common um, substances on our home planet. Now, because quartz holds memory, so does water. What are you mostly made up of? Okay, so you are carrying memory. How did you get created? There's an exchange of water without getting too in the bedroom there, you understand. So you're carrying the water of those who created you and on and on and on and on and on. So you're carrying all of these memories in your bloodstream, in your lymphatic system. Okay. Now, when you have a lifetime, you are impressing. So you're sending waves out. You're like a radio tower, sending these signals out all the time. And that is how you know if you like somebody or not when you come into their presence, or even if you just see their likeness, like on a website or in a book. So your little antenna is always sending you information. And then you decipher that information. And if you recognize the patterns, then you kind of know what to do. And if you don't, then you kind of have this little sniff test. Well, that's your intuition kicking in. Now, as you go through your lifetime and you have these experiences, impressions get sent out in pulses, in waves. And those waves get put into the Earth's crystalline grid. Therefore, all of your lifetimes on this planet are in Mother Earth. So we don't want to open up the traumatic lifetimes because you have been everything. You have been every race. You have been any kind of gender and in between. You have experienced being part of the side of a mountain and witnessing people going by. So you have been everywhere. All of those lifetimes in human form get put into that crystal. When I do work with a person, I read their crystal. I read the crystals in their body, and I look for that resonance. Many people suppress a lot of that stuff because of this lifetime's programming. Because as we're born, your identity is given to you. You're this family, and that's what this means. You're going to behave this way. We're going to practice worship this way, and you go to school and you're going to act this way, and you're not going to speak out of turn. So all this super discipline-y stuff, which is disempowering the individual. So for the little kid who, now I'm also an astrologer, so the Gemini, why? And the parent can't handle it, stop talking. That's the worst thing you can say to somebody with a Gemini trait. It's the worst thing you can do. And so what happens is we learn how to become who we're being told to be. And in doing such, we get a disconnect with who we truly are. Now, for my own personal story, from when I was 17 to 39 years old, it's 22 years, I was with somebody that sucked the life right out of me. And once I got out of that abusive marriage, I started to study astrology again. And in doing so, I started to study the charts of criminals. And I discovered the terms empath and narcissist. And that was what my situation was. So rediscovering my love of astrology and starting to find the patterns of that, and then diving into the psychology of that. What did I ever do so wrong to deserve what I was getting? No, it was a karmic imprint. And everybody has these karmic imprints. So you're going to show up in your lifetime getting the same set of circumstances through different people, through different life experiences to nudge you to make conscious choices. So what happens as we're being raised, we don't have conscious choice. We want to do this, we want to do that, but our parents or whoever, our caretakers and teachers and ministers are saying, no, you can't do that, and there'll be none of that here, and do not question my authority. Well, thank goodness we made it past 2012. It is okay to ask questions now. Now, more especially in the past, since I'd say 2019 and 2020, way more energies are coming to the surface. Now, that's kind of double-edged because some of it is a lot of suppression, a lot of evil doings on human lives that are buried in the earth. But the good part is our awareness, our sensitivity is increasing. Why that's happening is Earth was in such a just not in a good way, let's say, like still battling each other in the playground, still stealing each other's lunch money and beating each other up. So de-evolved, I think is the word I was looking for. Because Earth was in such a barbaric state, we went offline to the rest of the universe. Well, fortunately, we are now in a much better place. Now, horrible things happen for better reasons behind it. For example, the 9/11 incident. Horrible thing that happened. However, what happened right after that is the upsurge of compassion. So I kind of am being brought to the Titanic movie, they go down, but then there's that next wave that happens. So that's what happened. So with something like 9/11, with the huge earthquakes that consume lots of people, with all of these massive tragedies, what happens is all of these people gather together and they pray and they They send out compassion, and that gets put into the Earth's crystalline grid as well. Now, since we're moving into a very sensitized area that is Aquarius energy, all of the young people being born have this conceptual understanding, not linear, not the way that we learned in school, not the way that our parents learned in school. And that's why our schools are failing. And so I have a story of Brandon. Now, Brandon is a very bright 20-year-old young man that his parents came to me for some consultations because he was nonverbal. He had received an inoculation and he became, in front of the parents' face, glazed over, and he became nonverbal. Just but no words. And so I decided to take this case on and work with this wonderful, angelic young man. The first thing that I did was recommend getting a steel-tongue drum. That is something that resonates in such beautiful, harmonic resonance. It's soft, but still you can strike it. It helps to start unpacking these points of trauma, points of stress, plus the nest of Aquarius energy that we are in right now. It gets all tangled up and it wreaks havoc on our nervous system. Now, you'll notice sometimes I talk with my eyes closed because I see better that way. So when I worked with this young man, the first thing we did is we got him a steel-tongue drum. I did some energy work with him, and then I also worked with his parents. And it's just such a beautiful soul. So what had happened about 2 weeks later, they were having dinner, and he wanted potato chips after dinner. The parents let him have the chips because he had his dinner, and he said to his parents, "I'm going to eat these now." Now that is a very big deal. The parents' jaws dropped on the floor. This was beyond their understanding. But it was something with a little bit of energy healing and a little bit of sound just to stimulate what got stuck. And now he is able to articulate to his parents or anybody in his circle what his wishes are. Stories like that just bring tears to your eyes. Now, where am I going next? I did want to pay homage to just a couple of people that inspired me. One is Jill Matson, who is on the side of New York where I am. Eileen McCusick, who was on last year, and a woman called Maya Boston, who is an Australian woman that remembers her Lemurian lifetimes. I saw Maya do a gong session where she spoke light language behind the gong at an event that we were both presenting at in Sedona. And I immediately was taken back to a lifetime in Egypt. And I was just sucked right into it. So now I have a big collection of gongs, a big collection of forks. And I've spent these past several years learning exactly what they're used for and how to also let my intuition guide me. So one of the things that I offer, which is really cool, is reflexology using Eileen's sonic slider. Now, I'm not about, product endorsement, but this is what I use. I love this boot thing. And so I'll do this on people's feet while placing metal bowls on the various chakra points of the body. I'll also put this where there's lumped up energy just to kind of help put it back where it belongs. Now, because we are built from sacred geometry, you are living, breathing sacred geometry. That is our natural state of balance and harmony. You go out into your regular life and you have stress and you have jobs that you don't like and all this other stuff coming at you. And so it creates these little pockets of almost like dirt. And so I activate the fork and I place it on the little pocket of dirt and it dissolves that dirt up so that it can kind of pass. It's almost like surface pollution. But over a long period of time, if that person doesn't do anything to process that, it's gonna show up as a symptom. So your whole life is in about a 12-foot diameter of your physical body. And that's one of the reasons why I love to work with the tuning forks. So you can sound a tuning fork, like this is the 174 hertz, and it's rather noisy. So if I activate the fork, it's kind of loud. So what I do in demonstrations is I'll activate the fork and bring it closer and closer to the person, and you can hear it'll either get sharp, it'll go zzz, if there's a trauma point, maybe there was a sudden something, or it'll go so it's kind of like getting a sharp or a flat. The flat would be a depression state. Now what I find fascinating is people who, for example, like who I was, I never spoke up for myself. I let people walk all over me. I was afraid to upset the apple cart. So if I would have taken a fork, such as this one, which I do use for the throat, which is a blue energy. So if I were to activate this and bring it very close to my throat, then the fork would actually go silent. Why? Because I gave up my communication, my sense of power. I'm whoever you want me to be. So now, if I activate this fork and I bring it close to me, and you could also tell I project, so I'm not quiet anymore. I know who I am, and I'm good speaking up. So and you could still hear the fork activating, sounding. But after a period of time, so if I would have stayed in that abusive marriage, continued to never speak up for myself, not stand on my truth, protect untruths, all of the things that takes away energy from this area, which would be your lower jaw, your neck, and your upper shoulders, this whole region here, then you're going to end up with a thyroid problem. Over a period of time, as this stuff is vibrating in your energy field, and you're not doing anything about it, this is all your warning system. It's going to land in the body and turn out as a symptom. And that's how you can easily explain to your clients, if you're a practitioner, where somebody is off and which of the main 7 energy centers somebody is off. For example, you work 60 hours a week. You are pouring everything out no matter what. It is just never enough. So that is a root chakra matter, that survivability. Always, oh my God, what's coming at me now? What's coming at me now? So you're going to want to retune that root energy center and program back into that person's sacred geometry or crystals. I am enough. I trust in the power of the earth. I allow myself to exist, because some people were not supposed to be here, their parents have told them. So people like that who are always, oh, I'm sorry. You don't need to apologize for existing. Your soul chose to be here at this time. But you can use, of course, the color, the frequency. But frequency is in all kinds of octaves. So in one octave, it's going to be sound. So this is the root. But in another, it's just going to be the color, because we can't hear every single thing that's going on, or we'd go bonkers. So you could always bring that color into your environment. And an easy shortcut way to know where you stand, what color do you hate? What color do you can't stand? What is it for you? And then you look at your colors of the rainbow, Roy G. Biv from 2nd grade science, and whatever color it is that you despise, that's because that energy center is out of tune. And just a little alignment will help break up the pockets of dirt and kind of set you free. Alrighty, let's see. So where you believe, how you see yourself, is going to be the impression that you are creating over a period of time. So if I don't think that I matter, if I don't think anybody wants to hear me talk, if everyone thinks that I'm stupid, whatever it is, this is all throat stuff, then that fork is going to get really silent, like probably all the way out here. And as I get close, there won't be anything left. want all of those energy centers to be vibrating harmoniously. You don't want sharps, you don't want flats. So we have to dissolve those pockets of dirt, program into that energy center the positive of it, because your body has no concept of time. And you don't want to use the word don't, because your whole system knows what you are putting out there. It's just like a blank piece of paper. There's nothing to read on a blank piece of paper. Once you put something there, there's a focus point. There's something to look at. And so that's what you want to be doing. You do matter. You are powerful, infinite, wise, and strong. But when I'm sitting with somebody and I say those words, I get images, I get frequencies, whether they agree with that or not. So let's just do a nice little experiment here. And I'm just going to say some sentiments and just notice how you feel. I am enough. I've always been enough. I can earn enough income to take care of my needs and have a little bit extra. I give myself permission to feel my feelings. It is safe for me to express how I feel. It is okay for me to want things. Now, right there, some of you have been guilt and shamed. So passive-aggressive parents or needy parents or ill parents. Oh, I'm planning on going to the prom, and all of a sudden one of your parents is like, oh no, I don't feel good. And so it's kind of that guilt, that shame, or there's also that Catholic guilt. So a lot of us carry that, and that is a sacral chakra matter. How many of you hate orange? That's the sacral chakra energy, okay? Now, I'm not going to just bring this up and drop it. So at the end of this, we're actually going to do a little tuning session. We're going to do some demonstrations to help you to free up your own little packets of dirt, okay? All right, let's see how you feel. Now, the solar plexus is a big one, and we're actually going to be focusing on that one. But just for right now, see how you feel about these statements. I am powerful. I am infinite, wise, and strong. I know who I am. So I got a lot of like, so most of us don't know who we are. Clairvoyantly, when I'm presented with a person, imagine a stage and a spotlight. So the spotlight is creating this little pillar of light on the stage, and the spotlight on the floor, that's where you belong. The person belongs there. You are unique, and there's only one. So when you're born, there's that spotlight that's made uniquely only for you. But almost nobody's in it. Why? It's because the parents said we can't be. Well, it's not all about you. Who do you think you are? What do you mean you want a candy bar? Did you earn that? Your little sister got good grades. She's getting it. And so all of that stuff compiling on us, it kind of creates pollution in our solar plexus energy center. So now the way that this is going, we're actually going to go into that now. So because the solar plexus is extremely important. That is the ultimate I am. So whatever you say after I am, your intelligent cells are listening. So you never want to say, even under your breath, oh, I'm so stupid. You never want to do that, because the intelligence of your cells, the consciousness of your cells, you're the boss. Those cells are listening. So those cells are going to enter into a little bit of a state of depression every time you talk down about yourself. And then your body is going to start reacting. You don't feel so good anymore, and you might comfort eat or turn to some kind of escapism behavior to cope, to tolerate your life. We don't want that for anybody. We want you to have an amazing, radiant life where you feel amazing. Like for me, I'm not getting beat up anymore. Now that sounds like a big deal. It is. 22 years of my life, I got beat, I got yelled at and humiliated and all that stuff. So it took me a minute to kind of deprogram all of that and realize I didn't ask for it, but I was in vibrational alignment for it, meaning a low self-worth, a low self-esteem. Just because I was happy and chipper, it doesn't mean that I didn't have that low self-worth. So we have that. A lot of people carry that. So, as I had come out of that and I started to figure out who am I, and I don't suck, and it's not that nobody else would ever want me, and all of the things that happen in a toxic relationship. So as I start to figure out who I am, I become brighter. So what is it that you're saying I am? So who are you? How do you introduce yourself? And if you say, I don't know, you're sending out more confusion to the universe and you're going to get the match energetically. Here's more confusion so that you don't know who you are. And that'll also show up through your relationships, your family members, your partners, your bosses, your coworkers. You must define yourself. I am what? Well, let's make it easy. I am love. That's the easiest. You have to tell yourself something that is true or you're not going to believe it. So it has to feel right. You might get goosebumps. You might get a knowing or a feeling. Everybody receives their psychic and intuitive information a little bit differently. So let's hang out in that solar plexus for a minute. So what I see when I'm looking at somebody's solar plexus energy, I usually get the energy of a lot of other people. So I kind of imagine it like a manhole, and I'm underneath the ground looking up. And all these other people are looking in. So I'm looking up and I'm seeing all these faces. And they're usually like lurking over like this. Nobody else belongs in your solar plexus. And so sometimes I will actually detonate it and blow it up and drop a nice healthy new seed. Now let's get to the frequency about this, the sound about this. So this is what I do when I'm working on the solar plexus. So I do use and super love the solfeggio forks. And just in case you don't know what that is, all of the summation of let's try this differently. So they are an octave, an adjustment that goes with the Schumann resonance. Now the Schumann resonance is the Earth's heartbeat. So we have a natural coherence with the earth because we are inhabitants of the earth. We're born on earth for this set of lifetimes anyways. It's not your first rodeo and it won't be your last rodeo. Now, the solfeggio tones all add up to either 3, 6, or 9. For example, this one is 528 hertz, such a wonderful frequency. So if you take 5 and 2, that's 7. 7 and 8 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. So all of the solfeggio tones add up to either 3, 6, or 9, and that's the foundation of the universe. All right? So this is what I use for the solar plexus energy. However, you can use the solfeggio forks for all of the chakras. I love that. You can use all of the forks for any of the chakras. Each fork for all chakras, and it works. Anyway. So this is the fork that I use for the solar plexus because I also like the color. The color with the solar plexus is yellow. So I invite you to now, and I'll try to put on my indoor voice. I do talk loud. So let's rest our eyes closed and bring your awareness into your heart, please. Your heart is a beautiful, safe haven. So you're bringing your awareness into your heart, okay? So you're hanging out in there. Now, just with your closed eyes, observe the energy of your solar plexus, the I am. And you might not have such great feelings because some of you have been bullied. Some of you have been dictated to. This is who you are. This is what I want you to be. So these are all of the roles that you play in your life. So you wear billions of hats. Imagine if you wore one hat all of the time. Now that may feel a little bit scary because this means you're going to talk to your child the same way you talk to your boss, the same way you talk to your parent, the same way you talk to your friend. And you know what that really means? It means you're being authentic. So you never need to dim your energy for anyone or any circumstance. Okay? So now you are in your heart, but you're just imagining that you're looking at your own solar plexus. Now we want it to be a bright, like a lemon shade of yellow. How do you feel your solar plexus is? Is it the color of macaroni and cheese? Is it a little brown? How do you feel in your solar plexus? Many people have anxiety, and this is where that lives. So just bring your awareness. I invite you to place your hands over your solar plexus while you're still hanging out in your heart. And allow yourself to feel. Just feel. Now I'm going to do a little bit of energy work and you're going to feel it. So just be aware of what you feel. You have to stay in your heart so that you're not all thinky. And all you're doing is being open to any sensations that you perceive. Stay with me. Just notice what you notice. I am going to activate a tuning fork just so that I don't startle you. My solar plexus is open and clear. From this point forward, I promise to stand in my power. I will not turn down my light or my energy for anyone or any circumstance. I allow myself to shed away a version of me that was conditioned. I allow myself to embrace and embody who I was created to be. I am powerful, infinite, wise, and strong. How does that feel? Now take a breath into your solar plexus, smile on the exhale, and come back into this space with me. Now the next part of this presentation has to do with using the sacred geometry of a gong that I'm deeply in love with. And why I chose to include this is because there is a palpable difference when I activate the gong versus when I speak behind the gong. And it's so exciting that I do this as a demonstration far and wide because it's never not palpable. So now that we've done that work in your solar plexus, which is your identity, we're also going to place into there, I am love. Okay, now I'm going to pick up the gong and I'm going to activate that gong. And you can have your eyes open or closed if you want. Now, if your eyes are open, you're going to want to probably have a look at this. It is from Nepal. I have a guy there. Bring this on camera so you can see all of the beautiful sacred geometry, hopefully. It's a little sunny out, so I'm hoping this shows up well. Okay. Representing the chakras. Now, I also have a big love for Metatron's cube. I'm really big into sacred geometry. Okay. Now, if you'd like, you can rest your eyes closed. Now, I really don't want you to worry about the words that I'm saying because you're not going to be able to understand them. I'm going to be behind the gong. So first I'm going to activate the gong so that you can hear it. Understanding that because you're still open that this is actually and what it does massage the water of your cells. What are we mostly made of, right? So it's a vibrational sound massage. It's massaging the water of your cells. Remember, water has memory. So this is now going to start releasing some of the past life traumas of your ancestors, your parents, their parents, etc. So now you're getting a beautiful cleansing at a cellular level. Now notice what you feel. And we're going to do it again. Just so you know, you probably want to know what I was saying, because I know I would. So some of the things was, I am powerful, infinite, wise, and strong. So since your cells, your little, it's almost like the pores on your skin are open, they're listening, pushing that energy into those cells with positive things that come from a loving oneness that you are. Is helping to reprogram yourself with this new understanding, which is your truth. You are powerful, infinite, wise, and strong. How can you not be? You are created of the same stuff as everything else. You are created from the energy of the sun, the luminaries, the trees, the puppies, the kittens. You are that. So when that solar plexus gets conditioned, it starts to disconnect us from all that is. And I measure that with all kinds of equipment that I have. I like proof. So this is helping to bring old stuff to the surface so that it can leave, and reprogramming that with that wonderful universal oneness. I also use the chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which has to do with a universal oneness, and no matter what's coming at me, love will heal and I will keep going. I actually don't retain everything in my head, so I had to actually put it down exactly what it means. Japanese phrase literally means, I take refuge in the lotus of the wonderful law. And if you chant this, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, it brings forth the pure and fundamental energy of life, honoring the dignity and possibility of our ordinary lives. Okay, now, let's see where we're at. So now I'm actually feeling some stuff floating off the top of your heart. This is just old stuff, old behavior patterns, old thoughts and concepts about what is self-love. So how simple, we want it to be simple. So how simple it truly is, because you need to speak truth to yourself in order for things to work. So you have to find a true statement. So you look at the birds, you look at the puppies. Well, there's no denying that the same creator that made that also made you. You know that people say, oh, the miracle of life when a baby is born. Well, you still are that human being, just older, right? So you still are that miracle. You have to treat yourself as the miracle that you are. And others who don't treat you like that miracle do not belong in your inner circle. You have to be with people who are where you aspire to be. That makes sense. Okay, so for you, just kind of repeat this and maybe out loud if you can, or in your own mind. I am love. I am infinite. I am powerful. I am strong. My energy may never be destroyed. And now that feels way better. Now we're going to move into the high heart, which is one of my favorite energies. Everything is my favorite. I'm so excited for everything. Okay, so I have a high heart. Oh, we're doing two things. One is a Genesis cell activation. So the Genesis cells are the first cells that are created when you are first Right after your parents fool around and you become an entity, okay? It's those first set of cells, which as an adult, the focal point is in the perineum. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do any muscle contractions or anything like that. But what we're going to do is a very powerful, I will call it an activation, of the Genesis cells, which are carrying your ancestral everything, good, bad, and ugly. And we're going to do a high heart activation. So this is going to take it to some other spaces. Now, the gong also does that. So let me grab that singing chalice. Okay, so this is, let me tell you the frequency, 531. So this is a 531 frequency. It's a DNA repair and Genesis cell activation. This is vibrating. I wanted to brought something up. When you are in a good state and you sound one of those tuning forks. I was looking for the heart one, but I'm surrounded by tools and I just can't see it right now. So when you are that frequency, your stuff is going to vibrate. So me being able to vocalize, for example, this is going to continue to vibrate because I am that vibration. In other words, you're in tune. It's as if you have a violin and you pluck the A string over there and you're holding an A string here. That A string is going to reverberate all by itself because it's in resonance to one another. So you have that. You are a walking symphony. But, you know, in the beginning, if you go to see one of your local orchestras and they're all warming up, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, like think of the beginning of Sgt. Pepper's, right? And they're doing their tuning up and things are off. Well, that is you going out into the world thinking that you have to live inauthentically. You have every right to exist. You have every right to earn whatever it is that you want, to have whatever it is that you want. And you always want to ask you want to ask and you want to declare that what you put into the world is for your own highest good. For your own highest good and for the good of others. Okay, so now we're going to do the Genesis cell singing chalice. And then I'm going to do, this is an F sharp. This is the high heart. And that is where we as a collective are starting to ignite a little bit. Really, it's like your cosmic heart. So it's like your heart connecting with the other hearts here, but also intergalactically. So now we're going to start traveling a little bit. I said traveling just because I heard my voice go out of pitch. Okay, here we go. So you're welcome to have eyes open or closed. This is the Genesis cell activation. I'm going to ask you to bring your breath only, down into your perineum, which is between your legs, okay? Bring your breath there, and as you exhale, notice that what to me looks like pepper or dirt or surface pollution is going to start to come out. You're allowing to release. Now I'm going to get the high heart bowl, which again is an F sharp. And now bring your awareness back to your heart and breathe into your heart space. Imagine your heart space like a big, beautiful glitter ball of light, and you're breathing into it like a paper bag. Do you feel the surface tension rising? I'm feeling some of you are really going up high. So if you are leaving your body, we're going to give you permission to do that just for a couple more minutes. Because next we're going to use a singing pyramid, which is even higher. So the singing pyramids reach, well, it does cleanse your etheric body, but it's a lot more than that. So continue to breathe into that heart space, imagining your heart space like this big, beautiful glitter ball of light. All is well in my soul. Continue to breathe. This next one is going to be for your third eye. And what I'm understanding, because it's always in the moment, is that there's a decalcification of the pineal gland occurring. Now that gland is your antenna. And it does get calcified with tap water, with prescription medications. There's all kinds of things that cause that. So just remember to keep breathing. In other words, don't hold your breath. Continue to breathe into your heart space. Way awesome. Okay, now we're going to start putting everything back together because we don't want anybody ungrounded or floating away. Breathe into your heart. Okay, now I'm understanding. There's questions. There is some coding that you're looking for that you want to know the answers of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light up the bottoms of your feet right now, and this is going to help you first to ground and then to connect with your own higher power. So still breathe into your heart space, imagining your heart space like a beautiful glitter ball of light. And what's occurring is there's a wonderful heated energy at the center of the earth that is rising up, and coming in now through the bottoms of your feet, the soles of your feet, coming up the lower legs into the knees, into the thighs, and into the hips, and to that root energy center. That's good. Okay, now to help you to come all the way back into your body, that really bright, it's almost like an LED at the top of your head. Imagine that there's a big LED ball on top of your head. And intend it to get a bit smaller, just so it's about the size of a golf ball or a ping pong ball. And it's still above your head. Good. All right, and we're going to leave that there. All right, now I'd like you to bring your awareness to your heart. And we're going to start putting it all back together using these solfeggio forks. Awesome. Feels beautifully coherent now, beautifully coherent. So take a little overview of your body. Take a nice deep breath all the way down to the flats of your feet. Smile on the exhale. Come back into the space with me. Now I am just dying to share with you one more piece that is relatively new to my collection. And this also has to do with resonance. So, I do work with crystal skulls. So I've got well over 100 crystal skulls. And for that, of course, you have shape resonance, the skull. But we're working with sound resonance here. And this is a whale bowl. So you might have, I don't know, I have a dolphin tattooed on my arm. And I'm really connected. And many of you will be connected to things that have to do with water, including dolphins and whales. Now, because we have Saturn going through Pisces right now, it's kind of like a hangnail. And why this is wonderful, it's kind of like a hangnail on a sweater, but why this is wonderful is that the universe is causing you to slow down and pay attention what's going on to my nervous system, which is Aquarius. What is going on there? My spirituality, my belief system, what I know to be true. Well, in 2020, that rug got pulled out from under us and people were like, I don't know where I stand. And then the next 2 years were about deciding, where are you? What do you believe in? Who are you? And why are you even here? So now people are starting to recognize, I'm not happy. A lot of people are breaking up. They're leaving jobs. They're moving, relocating. Big changes. That is because you are waking up to your life purpose. You are starting to remember why you came. And now you're getting a red carpet. So let's just activate this wonderful whale bowl here. And just notice what you feel. Now what I'm understanding is that's like a little vacuum cleaner. So any stuff that, like that, what I described as pepper coming to the surface, we got a little hand vac and just started vacuuming it all up. Now, I am going to, I don't want to say make an assumption, but what happens when we do this type of work is the person, which is you, would feel lighter. So one of the first things that you might want to notice is that you're feeling lighter, brighter, more energy around the outside of your eyes. If you've ever got glasses or contacts and you get a new pair and you want to look at everything because you realize how clear everything is with the proper thing, you're getting a lot more photon energy that's entering your eyes. Now, swinging back to something that I had mentioned earlier about us not being online, that has shifted. So the heliosphere, or the frequencies around the earth, has been thinning. And because we're elevating in our consciousness levels, meaning we're starting to become more love-based, we're getting pummeled with all of these energies, all these solar flares, all this stuff going on. The earth is coming back online so that our spiritual parents, our extraterrestrial parents, can now tap in. So a lot of people have been reporting, blue beings, which I've seen, and all this different kinds of stuff. It's not crazy. Your spiritual parents are Pleiadian, which are also known as the Hopi, as the Seven Sisters. It's a star cluster. So everything's a frequency. That's part of who you are. So you don't want to be scared of anything like that. You don't want any fear at all. Live fearlessly, but live in the frequency of love, which is, of course, your heart frequency, is the most important. After that is going to be your I am, your compassion, your connection to all that is. So let's do one more thing together here. Rest your eyes closed for a moment. I need to get a fork that I can't reach. Okay, rest your eyes closed and allow this sound to resonate. I am one with all that is. From this point forward, I give myself full permission to live in a state of bliss. The natural state of the universe is one of love and compassion. I am of this universe. I am love. I am infinite. I allow myself to embody a life that is filled with joy, laughter, freedom, independence, expansion, creativity, frolic, joy, and playfulness. I receive the laughter of the dolphin in my heart. I allow my energy just for a second to meld with that of the creative source and receive energies from the grand central sun, helping me to remember who I am at soul level. Help me to clear off the rudder of my life so that I can live with purpose, mission, and integrity. I am that I am. I am love. I am created from love. I am the light of the truth. Beautiful. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Smile on the exhale. Open your eyes and come back into this space with me. So the crystals of your body have just gotten a nice little refresh, a rejuvenation, a tune-up, a healthy reverberation. And when you go back to your life, it's possible you might look at somebody and be like, I don't even like you anymore. I'm going to do something about it. So we're going to move out of a place of settling or complacency, and we're going to start to whittle things away. So as you are on your ascension journey, everybody around you is not going to grow at the same pace. So some of the stuff you've been doing forever just doesn't feel good anymore. And that's good. It's a necessary thing to kind of shake stuff up. And that's why people are freaking out right now, because everything's changing. They don't understand what they're feeling and how to move forth. So if you get lost, come back into your own heart. Know that you are love. You were created from love itself, regardless of your birth story. You are the same as all that is. All that is exists within you, and you exist in all that is. And that includes the other planets as well, because you've also had lifetimes not on this planet. Ooh, how wonderful. Okay. see if I have. Ooh, yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to share about sacred geometry. So, tetrahedrons are one of the platonic solids, which is what everything's been constructed from, what you're made out of. It is a pyramid, okay, but the base is not a square. It is a triangle. I'm trying to see if I have one nearby. I don't. But a pyramid that has a triangle on all sides. So another important part of sacred geometry is your light body, in a particular expression, is two tetrahedrons. One is coming from the outer space. It sounded kind of sci-fi, but okay. So the peak is above your head, and the base is right around just below your knees. The tetrahedron that comes up from the Earth's center, the peak is about a foot below your feet, and the base is right around your chest line. Now that is called a Merkaba, or a Merkaba, depending on how you pronounce it. It is a light body vehicle. It's mentioned and referenced, I think, either 44 or 144 times in the Bible. It's a thing. It is a light body vehicle. So if you wanted to do stuff like astral travel, so if you want to do something like that, you go into that Merkaba. That's your safe space. And with your intentions, you can go anywhere you want. But it's a cool thing. It's a really cool thing. So we can do really quick. We will do a little light body activation for you. So if you've enjoyed this so far, it's all energy and it's all pure. So I undo yucky things. I never dabble in yucky things. Love does heal all. And I've been doing this work long enough to know that it's true. Okay, so let's rest our eyes closed, and this will be the final thing that we do today. Okay, we're resting our eyes closed. Now remember a little while ago when I brought up that warm energy from the center of the earth. Please imagine an upside down pyramid, but remember the base of the pyramid is also a triangle. And that pyramid it's green, okay? So imagine a green upside down pyramid that starts to rise from the center of the earth, coming up and up and up and up. And it comes into the foundation of your building, into the floor of where you sit, and rises up and up and up until the peak of it is just about a foot below your feet, and the base of it is right at your chest line. And it stops. Now breathe into your heart space. Imagine your heart space like a beautiful glitter ball of light. And now coming from the electromagnetic space, the first one we did, that's magnetic. The earth is a magnetic frequency. So this next one is electromagnetic. And imagine now, this one, it's going to be an electric lavender, like a neon lavender. And that pyramid, it's tetrahedron, starts to descend from way out there. Here it comes. Coming down now into the Earth's atmosphere, above the building that you're in, inside the ceiling, above your head, lowering, 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 until the peak is about a foot above your head, and the base is right about just below your knees, and it locks into place. Okay, now continue to breathe into your heart space. That bottom tetrahedron begins to spin counterclockwise, and the top one begins to spin clockwise. And they're going to start spinning crazy fast. And what I'm going to do right here is to make sure it doesn't wobble. So just keep on breathing into that heart space. And this will help not only anchor and ground your energy, but it helps you to bring in the powerful intuition that you have, the cosmic wisdom that you have in your DNA. And it'll help your sense of direction, the rudder of your life. And it is also bringing, I'm being told to say, it's bringing enormous healing to you. So some of you are having some really beautiful, powerful healing experiences. You might be having visions. This is great. And I'm just going to say these words. I program my light body so that it is in harmonic resonance with my highest good, and that I am only able to go in places that are safe for me, that are only charged with love, and all else will stay away. I only go to where I am permitted by the virtue of my own higher self and my spirit team. I am open to receive divine love. I know, I understand that I am sacred love. All is one and I am part of all. All is part of me and it is love. I am love. Now breathe into that heart space of yours. Smile on the exhale, and I invite you to open your eyes and come back into this space with me. Awesome. Good. That feels real good. So I can't script anything. I do everything on the fly. I just had a couple of little notes there. But I'm always guided, and I always pay attention to that guidance because it is always correct. And I always want to work with people to help them understand their own guidance, because a lot of us are feeling a little disconnected and a little bit cut off. So essentially what I do is I unplug everything, blow up the energy centers that are just beyond repair, drop down a healthy new seed of who you are at soul level into the solar plexus, and then plug everything back in and pretty it up. In a nutshell, that's essentially what I do. Using it with frequencies, with sound, with words, with intentions, because that is what you are and what you are made up of and with. I would love to know how you feel, what your experience might be like. And I thank you very much for your time today.
Cool. I got a question for you. Two
Great.
questions. Who are you?
I am love.
What's the sound of that?
So the sound of that, I actually have a visual, and it's way out there. And it has, now I'm also understanding that that changes because nothing is static. Once you name something, it becomes static. Okay, love is the all-knowing. The frequencies that I'm seeing are shades of pink and yellow, subject to change.
Make the sound of it.
The vocal can't do that. The vocal cords can't do that. But you could feel it. So I'll just bring it down for you because that's what my guides are offering. They're saying it's something that you feel. It's not within our range. And that I also am aware, to me, I call it holy music. So when I'm in somebody's energy field, sometimes I witness holy music, but it's so quote unquote high that I've not witnessed anything that produces those kinds of sounds.
What about your soul? How do you connect to that more?
Oh, so you connect to your soul. It's going to be through your heart and then asking questions, because your soul is very, very old and it just kind of inhabits a new meat suit. It just kind of shows up in a different form of in a different body over and over and over again. So in order to access that, you want to intend, keep your pineal gland clear, be very mindful about what you put into your body, let it be in its purest form. And then your intentions, I am love, show me who I am, help me to understand who I am, help me to learn how to love myself in new ways every day. Make those declarations, and that it's the way I'm understanding this right now live is that it will open up your own personal flower of life, and that all of those petals have a word on them that is part of your own recipe card in this lifetime. Some of the stuff is to heal past karmic patterns. Some of it is to remedy those lower frequencies of guilt and shame and a lack of self-worth, that we're moving out of that era and moving into a place of more coherence, and that love does emit a sound, and that when we work with the heartbeat of our earth, Schumann resonance, within ourselves, it helps us to clear out that energetic debris that we're carrying around.
Do you hear a sound of your soul?
Yes, and each one is individual. So I'm not answering for me, I'm answering from my my guidance. Each one has an individual, and that they're saying it's like a bell. Everybody has their own bell sound, and that it's made of cosmic frequencies that come from the imprints of where they've come from through the journeys and the dimensions and the other locations that are not all into our awareness right now. So everybody is coming in with a different number of lifetimes and a different lifetime experience and different extra extra planetary lifetimes as well. You have witnessed the birthing of planets, the birthing of galaxies. There is sound with that. When my head is empty, that means there's nothing left to say there. So I'm done answering that question.
Cool. Cool. Well, thank you so much for your presentation and energy. This was really, really, really fun.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Anything else you want to share before we end?
Stay in love is the best advice. Stay in love. Learn who you are. Keep your heart open. Keep your mind open. Do not let other people tell you who you are. Thank you.
Thank you so much.